Hello, grade 4, how are you? How was going? I come back to teach you a new lesson. Okay, students, bring your book and notebook and pencil. Open page 28. Open page 28. Okay, students, are you ready? We will start a new topic. Adaptation for the different environments. Adaptation for different environments. Open page 28. Open page 28 here. Okay, students, open page 28. Bring pencil and notebook front of you, page number 28. We will discuss what is the adaptation for the different environment, how the plant adapted in their environment. Okay, student, look at here, all of you. Plants live all over Earth's surface. Like animals, plants have adaptation that help them live in different climates and conditions. Plants have adaptation that help them live in different climates and conditions. Now you will understand how they adapted in different environment and condition. Most of the plants that you have seen live on land. Some plants, however, have a adaptation that allow them to live in a water. Some of them live in the water. Okay, for example, water lilies live in some ponds and lakes. It means in the water. Okay, they grow from soil below the water. Okay, they grow from soil under the water. Okay, under the water you have a soil that grow inside this soil under the water. Sunlight filters through the water to reach the young water lily. They need sunlight and light. Okay, that sunlight filters through the water and then reach to the young of water lilies. The plant's stems grow toward the surface. Inside the water, that stems grow toward of the surface, taking along the leaves. Okay, they taking along the leaves, which are rolled up like tubes. That leaves rolled like a tube to transfer of water. At the surface of the leaves unroll to form flat pads. Okay, now we will watch the water lilies. Okay, this is the plant of water lilies. Watch the video. Now you will understand how the water lilies adapt in this environment. Okay,
Well, it's a real pleasure to be here with Eamon Hughes, and we are at Hughes Water Gardens, and today we're going to be talking about water lilies. Because, Eamon, I think that a lot of us hear that word and we think of one type of plant, but there's really quite a selection to choose from.
There's a wide selection, but the two main categories would be what we call the hardy water lilies or the tropical water lilies. So the hardy in our area will survive any winter that we'll get here, as long as we don't get any more than 6 inches of ice, which would be very, very unusual.
So if you have them in a pond, just make sure they're below that 6
Below
inch
that
mark.
level. Just slide them on deeper into the
Yeah.
pond if you have to, and then you can bring them back towards the surface the following spring.
And we should say here that, just if you don't have a pond, you can still have water lilies.
Well, you can. They come in a wide range. There's some beautiful miniature ones. They only have a flower about 3/4 of an inch across. They're really magnificent. They
Nice.
come in red, yellow, and white. And you can have those in a bowl just on your patio.
Yeah. Now, if it is a tropical one that you choose to invest in, what would be the best way to try to save that year to year?
Well, the tropical mostly are treated as annuals, but what you can do is put them in a bucket, the pot with the lily in it, and then put it in the garage for the winter. And maybe about 50-60% of the time you will manage to form a tuber in there over the winter, and it will come back the following year.
Nice.
Yeah.
And then you would just, after danger of frost, would you?
Do you see, student? This is the plant of water lilies inside the water, okay? They grow inside the water because they can adapt it in this environment. Okay, do you see? This is a very, very nice flower inside the water. Okay,
Measure the temperature of the water before you set it out, or would you measure the frost date?
Typically, the water temperature needs to be getting up 65 to 70 before you put it out.
Okay. Well, and I've always heard one of the I don't know if it's a myth or not that I've heard is that they don't want any kind of real moving water. It has to be kind of stable.
Yeah, I mean, in their natural environment, they're always in still water. They're not in
Okay.
flowing water. And what happens is the foliage will be fine in the moving water, but you'll get a little less flowering on them. And the other difference between hardy and tropical is the hardy bloom probably a couple of blooms at a time, but the tropical give you a great bang for your buck.
Yeah.
You'll get maybe 5 or 6 blooms every day.
Wow.
From sort of the end of June through September.
And some amazing colors in the
Yeah.
tropicals, too.
Yeah,
that
the
are very
blues and the
vibrant.
purple.
you see, this is water lilies that adapted in the water. Look at the picture. Do you see? This is water lilies that adapted in the water. Do you see? And this one, that stems belong up to the surface and leaves stay in the surface. Do you see? This is the water lilies flower that adapted in the water. Okay, now we will going to the book. Okay, students, as I told you, at the surface of leaves unroll of the flat bodies, they are then ready to take in the sunlight and carbon dioxide. The roots take in water and nutrients from the muddy bottom. That they have the water lilies that take their nutrients in the muddy bottom under the water. They take nutrients from the muddy bottom. The long stems move to the materials back and forth between the leaves, as I told you. Okay, students, as I told you, this is adaptation of the water lilies and the roots. In this way, all the water lilies need are meet. Okay, all of them go to the surface of water, and all of them are meet together. Now we have other plants is called veins, have a different type of stems adaptation that help them meet their needs. Okay, we have other plants that adapted in different kind of environment and condition. Okay, this called veins. Okay, veins often grow on forest floors where the light is dim. To reach sunlight, veins have a long stems with adaptation for the clinging to other objects for support. Okay, they have a very long stems. That adaptation for the clinging to other objects. They catch the other objects to support and clinging. Okay, this adaptation helps bees climb fences. Okay, that adaptation and have a lot of stems help the bees to climb to other objects. For example, climb to the walls. Okay, climb to the rock and even other plants. Okay, sometimes the bees plant climb to other plants. Okay, look at the beans tree, how they adapted. Do you see? This is what? This is the beans plant that adapted in different environment. This beans adapt climate in this wall. Okay, do you see? And this one, do you see? That climate in the walls. Okay, and this one climate in other tree. Do you see? That help the beans to support and climate to the other plants. Do you see? This beans cover all of these trees. Okay, cover this all of them, and this one cover the windows. This is adaptation of the beans tree. All of them, that, do you see? That one catch this tree and climate of the tree. This is adaptation of the beans tree. We have other cacti, it means cactus, and other desert plants have a adaptation for the living with very little water. Cactus in the desert, there is no water, but they adaptation for living with a very little water. If there is no water, but cactus can live in these very hot places and little water. In some deserts, it may be months or even years between rain showers. Cacti can survive their dry spells because they have very thick stems that store water. Because the cactus have a very thick layer that help them to store water and stay in very hot places and desert. The plant uses this water when no groundwater is available. That cactus store this water inside this thick layer, and then if there is no water, they use this water. Okay, they use this water to live. When it finally does rain, the roots of the cactus plant can collect water quickly because they grow just below the surface of the ground. Okay, now we will watch the cactus plant in the desert. Okay, we will watch this video and you will understand how they adaptation in the desert.
And empty, but the world's deserts are far from deserted. Even the driest places on Earth can harbour plant life that is highly evolved and incredibly adapted to survive extreme drought. These plants, the world's cacti and succulents, are masters of survival and can flourish where other plants cannot hope to grow.
Do you see the other plants? They are dry. They cannot grow and live, but cactus still alive. Look.
The word cactus.
The the cactus are green and very high, but the others cannot, because the cactus have a very thick layer. They store water in this thick layer.
Usually conjures up this image, the giant saguaro cactus, which can grow over 12 meters tall. But there are at least 1,750 other species of cacti that come in all shapes and sizes, including species that grow as epiphytes and others that grow climbing in forests. All species of cacti except one grow in the Americas. The exception is the mistletoe cactus, Rhipsalis baxifera, which grows across Africa and into Sri Lanka. To survive in extremely dry environments, cacti reduce their surface area to minimize water loss through evapotranspiration. As such, many
Look, student, do you see? This is a very thick layer that they store this water inside the layers, okay? There in the water, there is no water in the ground. They use this water to grow and protect it, okay?
cacti do not have leaves in the conventional sense. Instead, their fleshy stems do the job of photosynthesis. The stems are often swollen and store water efficiently. By being so much more water efficient than regular plants, helps cacti survive extreme drought. They come in all shapes and sizes. Many are column-shaped, or barrel-shaped, or spherical. Cacti actively defend the precious waters which they store, for many desert herbivores would love to make a meal of them. Many cacti, as well as many other groups of succulents, are defended with ferocious spines. These spines can be extremely variable. Some are rigid and robust, others are as fine as needles, while yet others are woolly and irritant, or hidden amongst woolly fibres. Some cacti are so heavily defended that it's hard to imagine any animal being able to overcome the spines. Not all cacti have ferocious spines. Some are...
You watch the video. This is adaptation of the cactus in the desert, okay? Look at this picture, okay? Look at this one. Do you see they can grow in the desert because of this adaptation and thick layer, because they have a very thick layer and protect the water inside, okay? Look at this one. Do you see? That is adaptation of the cactus in the desert because of very thick layer. Okay, students, look at this one. Look at this one. Look at this one. They have a very thick layer that can easily protect the water and then use it while there is no water in the ground. Now we will go back to the book. Okay, students, you will understand how the plant is adaptation in the different environment, okay? In the different environment. If you have any question, okay, ask me in the group. I will answer you, okay? Be careful, watch the video how the plant is adapted in the different environment. Till the next lesson, have a good time. Bye bye.